Crossroads, this is Josh Lisk, elder, and I am here today to do our verse for 21 days of prayer. Today's verse comes from the book of Colossians. It is written by Paul while he was in prison. Interesting enough, it's written to a church he didn't plant, nor did he visit. Today's verse is in a part of the letter where Paul is talking about us and our relationships in community. Like our relationships with our spouse, our children, our parents, believers and non-believers, and how all of those are shaped by our relationship with Jesus. So let's jump in and see what Paul says. Colossians chapter 4, verse 5 and 6. Live wisely among those who are not believers and make the most of every opportunity. Let your conversations be gracious and attractive so that we have the right response for everybody. Let's try to break down what Paul is trying to say here. So I hear live wisely among those who aren't believers. And I'm drawn to the word wisely. And I know that our wisdom comes from Christ. So what Paul's saying is like, hey, maybe around non-believers, you should act and speak like Christ, right? Well, that sounds easy enough to understand, a little harder to actually do, but I think I got it. Let's move on. Make the most of every opportunity. I hear that, and again, I'm drawn to the word most, and I know that Paul was always looking for opportunities to share the gospel. So if I want to share the gospel with the most people, I got it. Let's get a sign. Let's write John 3:16 on it. Let's go stand on the street corner, or better yet, in a sporting event. I'll have a ton of eyes on me. I'm sure knocking this most out, right? I think I got it. I think homework, Paul, is complete. Maybe give me some 5 gold stars. But there's more to the verse, right? So as we go on, let your conversation be gracious and attractive. Well, holding a sign up and just simply saying, hey, John 3:16, kind of misses the mark on that whole gracious and attractive. Remember, our wisdom comes from Christ and our relationship with him, so our actions should echo his words and messages. And what does it even mean to be gracious and attractive? All right, I hear the word gracious, and think of grace. And grace leads me to the truth of the gospel, that we have all sinned, fallen short of the glory of God, and that Yahweh, our Creator, still loved us so much that he sent his Son to live an absolutely perfect life for us, die, and conquer death, all so that we can be redeemed into our relationship with God and in his kingdom. Jesus lived kindness, compassion, humility, forgiveness, and most of all, he lived love. Wow. What's more gracious and attractive than that? Paul then finishes, so that you have the right response for everyone. Since we live in a world that we come in contact with all kinds of people, we need to tailor our interactions one-on-one to those people. There's no such thing as a one-size-fits-all sign or a message. Not everyone's interactions are going to be the same. But what we need to do is trust in the Holy Spirit and our relationship with God, the wisdom we gained through Jesus. That seems like a pretty good example to live and speak wisely. Thank you, Crossroads. I hope you have a great day.